All right. How's everybody doing today? Awesome. Hey, would you do me a favor? I am so blessed to have the most amazing sponsors in the world. Conrad and Jill Padilla, they are family. They are sponsors. They feel like family to me, and I am blessed to have them in my life. Would you give them a big hand? They're backstage. Conrad and Jill Padilla. I love those people. It is awesome to be able to be with you today and share with you on the subject of dreaming again. I know we stand up and sit down like it's a Catholic church here at Montevideo quite a bit. But what I want you to do is I want you to stand up one more time, but we're going to do a scientific test. Ready? Everybody stand up. Now I want you to spread your hands out really wide. Really wide. I want everybody, Renita, wider than that. There you go. Really wide. On the count of 3, I want you to clap your hands. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now, this time, I want you to clap your hands. And when you clap your hands, I want you to have them land however they land, like this, however they land, but hold them together. Don't clap like this and then go like this. Hold them together. Ready? Everybody, spread. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now. Look down. If this is a scientific test, it's on Wikipedia. Anything on Wikipedia is gospel. So if your left thumb is over the right thumb, left thumb over the right thumb, lift it up in the air like this. Okay, you people are the best thinkers in the room. You're the smartest people in the room. You are, yeah. You're the best thinkers. Now, did I say right thumb first time? Left thumb, okay. If your right thumb is over your left thumb, right thumb over your left thumb, lift it up in the air. That's the other group. Okay, you people are the sexiest people in the room.
Oh my.
Now, left thumb over the right thumb, you guys are the thinkers. Right thumb over the left thumb, you are the sexy people. How many had your thumbs together lifted up in the air? Okay, you people just think you're sexy. That's who you are. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
You may be seated.
Yeah, baby.
I'm on a time limit, guy. Hey, it is an honor to be able to be here today and be a part of this incredible event in Montevideo. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share with you on this subject of dreaming again. Because here's the reality. Everybody in this place has a dream because that's the way the God in heaven created us. He created you to dream, and he created you to dream big. You see, he put inside of every one of us that desire. And see, I'm a person that likes to take risk and likes to go out on the edge. My wife always tells me that I have a bucket list. You know, that I want to go down the Nile River, that I want to stand on the equator, that I want to bungee jump, skydive, whatever. And I've worked through most of that list. Matter of fact, a few years back, I skydived. Anybody ever skydived before? Let me see your hand. Okay, a couple of you with the broken arms. Good, that's good. Now, I skydived quite a few years ago, and it was several years ago, and my kids at that time were 10 and 9 years old. And so I went skydiving, and here's how it went down. I went to go skydiving. Someone came with me to film it and film me and kind of the whole show, you know. And I went to go skydive, and I sit down, and they make you sign this entire thing when you're skydiving. You got to sign like here, and initial here, and sign there. They even video you reading the last paragraph out loud. And I said, why is that? And they said, well, in case you die, you know, we don't want you to sue us. I'm thinking, I'll figure out a way, buddy. So I'm signing all this stuff. I'm doing all that, you know, whatever. And then it's time to go do the training. So I go, you know, it's time to train. So I go and I do 8 hours of training. Now, I didn't tandem jump. Tandem jump is when you jump out and you're hooked onto the person. I didn't do that. What I wanted to do was I wanted to jump out on my own, pull the cord on my own. So it was almost time. It was about an hour away. My wife said, hey, she goes, when you're an hour away from skydiving, call us. That night, we were going to go see our little kids, and my wife and I, we were going to go see Wizard of Oz at a community theater, and we were going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. It was like a big night. So I called my wife, and I said, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They say I'm going to jump in about an hour. Time to come on out. And so she said, she comes on out. She grabbed the life insurance policy. She was very excited. Keeping her fingers crossed that I'd not make it. But anyway, so I got there, you know, and they were all excited. Now, here's the interesting thing inside of the class. You have to go through an 8-hour class. And inside of that class, you know, I have you fill all that paperwork, and you're sitting inside of a small class of people that are going to jump, and you train for 8 hours. I raised my hand, and I asked the instructor, the guy that's teaching us to skydive. I said, hey, man, I said, let me know. I go, when I skydive, I go, I noticed, and I signed the papers, I noticed that you guys don't guarantee anything. And he goes, no, we don't guarantee anything. I go, you don't guarantee, I'm asking the skydiving instructor, you don't guarantee the plane? He said, no. I said, you don't guarantee the parachute? He said, no. You don't guarantee the instructions that I receive here today? He said, no. I said, you don't guarantee the landing? He goes, oh no, we guarantee you'll land. One way or another, dude, you will hit the ground. And so, now it's time for me to dive. My wife comes on out. My daughter's dressed up as Dorothy. She's 10 years old. My son's 9. And I kid you not, they come on out and they keep delaying it 10 more minutes, because there's too much wind. I'm standing there. I'm goggled up. I got the parachute. I'm ready to go. I'm standing there talking to my son. He's 9 years old. My daughter is 10 years old. And my wife's right here. I'm talking to my son. My wife and my daughter are talking right here. And my son, he's so compassionate. He's like, Dad, I don't want you to jump. What if something happens, Dad? And I'm like, son, it's okay. God's got this one. He's in control. And in my mind, I'm thinking, is he really? Or is he up there going, you're the dummy jumping? I don't know. So then I overhear, we're going to see the Wizard of Oz that night. I overhear my daughter say to my wife, she doesn't know I hear her. My daughter says to my wife, I kid you not, now if Daddy dies, we're still going to go see the wizard, right? Make sure it's straight, it's important stuff. I go up inside of that plane, and I got two flight instructors, names Yo-Yo and Ed. That was my flight instructors, Yo-Yo and Ed. And so it came time for me to be up in the plane. We're 15,000 feet in the air. They open up this thing, looks like a garage door. It's only about this wide. And I'm standing there, and they said, okay, it's time to go. And they're going to jump out, and they're going to give me signals as I go down. And I'm standing there, I'll never forget, and I'm putting 1 foot here, 1 foot here. I'm hanging on. I look down 15,000 feet, and they're going, okay, you're going to jump in 30 seconds. Get ready. And I'm thinking, I looked at Yo-Yo, and I said, Yo-Yo! You had to yell because the door's open. I said, I just want you to know I'm really scared. You know what he says to me? He goes, don't worry, me and Ed will be just fine. I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? Now, I went ahead and I jumped. And it was an amazing, amazing trip. I had an incredible time. Now, here's what I want to do in the very limited time that I have. I want to tell you something. There were two things that were battling inside of my heart. First of all, there was the battle of the mind, and there was the battle of the spirit. Say mind. Spirit. Okay, there's two things, the mind and the spirit. And I was battling with the mind and the spirit. The mind was telling me, it's not gonna work. What if the parachute doesn't open? What if this doesn't happen right? What if I mess up? And the spirit was telling me, take a risk. You can do it, take a risk. And so I'm battling between the mind and the spirit. Now, here's what you need to know about the mind and the spirit. Sometimes in this goals of our life for 2014 and this vision you have for Monavie, you gotta understand there's a battle going on between the mind and the what? Spirit. Okay, couple things are happening. Scientists have proven that there are 3 things that happen inside of your brain that actually kind of sabotage your goals. The first one is this. Your brain procrastinates on big projects by visualizing the worst parts. Isn't that true? Your brain naturally is going to go to the worst part of the big project. How can I do that? How can I do that? Your brain constantly goes to that. So your brain, it procrastinates on big projects by visualizing the worst parts. The second thing is this. Your brain will abandon ship at the first sign of distress. Your brain will abandon ship at the first sign of distress. So when you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, I'm working this business, or I'm working out my dreams and my goals for my life, and the minute that you get into distress, your brain drives you and says, abandon ship. It's time to quit. There's a battle, like when I was about to jump out of that plane, between the brain, the mind, and the spirit. And then the third thing the brain does, scientists have proven, your brain loves mindless busy work disguised as progress. Isn't that interesting? Your brain loves it. Your brain thrives on being busy, but it disguises it as progress. So you're battling on one side, you're battling the mind, and on the other side, there's the spirit. The mind is telling you, give up on the project. The mind is telling you, choose the path of least resistance. And the mind is telling you to be busy, but disguise it as progress. Now, you battle with that mind, but over here is the spirit that's telling you to come up. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you're going to achieve your goals in 2014, if you're going to become everything that you were intended to be by the God who created you, if you're going to become everything that you were meant to be in this business, you're going to have to not only have the mind, which we all do, but you're going to have the spirit of the entrepreneur and the risk taker and the one that is willing to move forward. Because your brain, like when I was jumping out of the plane, is going to tell you, don't do it. But it's the spirit. See, it's an 18-inch difference between this and this. This is telling you it's too hard, but this is telling you, but I want it. So how do we create that right spirit? Because here's the deal. The key ingredient for our dreams is always the right spirit. It is always the right spirit. Now, I want to give you 3 things that I think will help you develop that right spirit because I believe in you. I believe that everybody in here is born with a shout, but sometimes we end up with a whisper. Wouldn't you agree? We're born excited. We're born. When you were little and you were growing up, what do people say to you? What do you want to be when you grow up? And then all of a sudden something happens in our 20s and our 30s. It's not the brain that changed. It's the spirit that changed. You see, it's not what you are that holds you back. It's what you think you're not. That's what holds you back. And so how do we abandon this idea of constantly going to this quitting mentality and disguising it as progress into a spirit? It's as easy as ABC. There's 3 things I want to give you. We've talked a lot about it. Ken Porter talked a little bit about it last night, and that is, the first one is the word attitude. Say it out loud with me, everybody in the house. What's the word? Attitude. Here's the deal on attitude. Have you ever met anybody that has a bad attitude? Lift your hand up in the air. Now, I didn't say go like this. Okay, have you ever met anybody that brings more joy when they exit the room than when they enter? You know what I'm talking about? Like when they leave, you're like, really? Oh man, you gotta go? That's too bad. It's called attitude. My wife and I, when our kids were just like 5 and 4 years old, we had about $11,000 saved, so we thought we had enough to go to Disneyland for the day. At least get in. So we went to Disneyland and we took the kids to Disneyland, and I feel part of my job as a dad was to scare the kids whenever possible. So if you've ever been to Disneyland, I decided to take them on the haunted house. And I went on the haunted house, and my wife just said, I'll wait outside. Now, if you go in the haunted house and you're an adult, you don't care. But if you're 4 and 5 years old, it's kind of scary. It's really just kind of fun, but they kind of think it's scary. So we go on there, and all 3 of us are in there. And if you've been in the haunted house at Disneyland, it's a real slow ride, and these little goblins jump up. And my kids are, Dad. And I wanted to turn it into a teaching class. This is what happens when you don't clean your room. You got to find lessons. So we're there, and they're Dad. We get off the ride. They're crying. My kid, oh, Dad. I go, what would help? A churro, and a lemonade. I said, oh, somehow that would help. So we had about $2,000 left over in cash. So we went and got a lemonade. That's what it cost at Disneyland. And we went up there. Now the girl behind the counter, she had one of the worst attitudes I'd ever seen in my life. I walk up there and I said, how you doing today, ma'am? And she goes, lousy. And my kids are just standing there, and I said, what? And she goes, oh, horrible. She goes, I hate my job. And I'm like, you're at the happiest place on earth. What's the deal here, And she goes, I hate my job. And I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry about that. And I go, well, at least you got a job. Yeah, but I don't like it. And I go, do you have a place to live? Yeah, but I don't like my roommates. And just negative. You ever met anybody like that? And then my kids are like, can we go back on the haunted house? She's scarier. It was kind of And I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking in my mind, this poor girl with her incredible attitude, it's so negative. And here's the deal. You got this brain that's disguising busyness as progress, wanting to abandon ship, wanting to focus on the worst projects. But there's a spirit that has to have the right attitude that says, this is who I am and this is what I was meant to be. There's a God in heaven, I believe. I don't know where you're at in faith and all that, but there is a God in heaven, as Ken Porter pointed out last night, that he has created you to win. And that attitude comes from saying, God, you are in charge. You created him in. Matthew 7, verse 7, Jesus once said this. He said, seek and you will find. Say it with me. Seek and what? Okay, think about that for a moment. Seek and you will find. Check this out. Seek and you will find. If you're looking for the best in your marriage, you'll find it. If you're looking for the worst, you'll find it too. Whatever you seek, you find. You're looking for the best at your job, you'll find it. You're looking for the worst, you'll find it too. Whatever you seek, you find. Hey, if you're looking for the best in Monavie and its products and its people and its leadership, you'll find it. If you're looking for the worst, you'll find it too. Whatever you seek, you find. You see, it's like the vulture and the hummingbird. The hummingbird looks for what is alive. The vulture looks for what is dead. The hummingbird looks for what is new. The vulture looks for what is old. The hummingbird looks for what is fresh. The vulture looks for what is stale. And both find exactly what they're looking for. Whatever you seek, you find. Now, your brain's going to be driving this way, but the spirit, that attitude that says, I am able to conquer this, that's the thing that's going to bring you to the top. The second thing is this. First one is the word attitude. The second one is the word belief. Say it out loud with me, everybody in the house. What is it? Belief. Now, here's the deal on belief. You got to, at some point, come to a place where you believe that success is not made just for the people on the stage, but it's made for you. Because here's the deal. It is not talent that separates people. It is choices that separate people. The choices that separate people. My good friend Tyson Chandler, he's a basketball player, plays center for the Knicks. I hang out with the guy a lot. I fished with him. I even baptized him. You know how hard it is to baptize a guy that's 7'2"? I had to have like a crane. I baptized you in the name of the Father. One time he said to me, he said, you know, Chris, there are people that are better at basketball than me, but they're not in the NBA. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, Detroit, Chicago, all over the place, New York. I said, what do you mean they're different? He goes, here's the difference. He said, they all think it's about talent, but really it's about choices. It's not always about talent. There's people that are better than me. They're just not in the NBA because they make different choices than I do. It's attitude. For your dreams in 2014, it's attitude. It's belief. Belief that you were made to do something big. Belief that you were intended to do something big. You are shaped by your beliefs, not shaped by what you want. You're shaped by your beliefs. That's who we are as individuals. And you were made to be big. I tell my kids all the time, if we go to the mall on December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, and there's 100 million people there, I always go right to the front. You know why I go to the front? Because I tell my kids, I said, I'm a child of God, and he's got a spot for me in the front. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And then we park like 6 miles away, and they're like, I thought you said God. I go, maybe he thinks we're fat. We got to lose weight. Come on, move. Just it's different. You got to adjust. But it comes down to this idea that, do I really believe in a God and in myself, that he's made me in his image, that I'm able to do everything that I can? Attitude and belief. Now here's what happens with belief. We let a few things get in the way. Here's a few things that get in the way. Ready? Insecurity gets in the way of belief. Fear gets in the way of belief. Write this one down. Fear must submit to belief. You don't have a problem with fear. You have a problem with belief. People say, well, I'm afraid. That's not your problem. Fear always bows the knee to belief. It always does. The higher your belief, the lower the fear. It always bows a knee to belief. Doubt gets in the way. Feed your dreams. Starve your doubts. Let your dreams come up and your doubts come down, because those things get in the way. And don't be, and when it comes to belief, as I loved what Ken Porter said last night, I love that dude. And what he said last night was, you got to protect yourself against those people. That you believe in yourself and if someone, you know, I don't know what it is, why we always choose to listen to negative and broke people. Have you ever noticed that? Negative and broke people have a lot to say, don't they? That's not going to work. Nothing's going to work. We're all going to die. Boom. You know what they do? They criticize, listen, they criticize your dream down to a level that's comfortable for themselves, because your desire for excellence threatens their mediocrity. That's why. Attitude, belief, the belief that there's something bigger in your life, that you were created for something even more. That's what I believe with all of my heart. And then the C stands for courage. So, go with me. The A stands for what? The B stands for what? And the C stands for everybody in the house? Courage. Now here's the deal. It's a lot easier to be comfortable than it is to be courageous. But understand something about comfort. It's a breeding ground for mediocrity. It always is. And if you're going to go after 2014 with your dreams and your goals and everything that you want for Monavie, and we all shout and scream, and I'm going to be one of the diamonds, and I'm going to be one of the 100, one of the 200, I'm going to do it. You better understand something. Your brain's going to drive you to quit. Your brain's going to tell you it's too hard, but there's got to be a spirit inside of here. It's like my friend Rudy Riddiger from the movie Rudy. Anybody ever see that? I do a lot of traveling and speaking for Verizon, Home Depot, stuff like that, and I speak with him quite often on stages, and I'm telling you something. He'll tell you, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I don't know how to quit. He is just not a quitter. He lives right here in Las Vegas in a small little 15,000 square foot home. It's humble. But he tells you, he says, I'm not going to quit. It's that courage that rises up and says that I'm better than that. That's what makes the difference. Last thing I want to share with you is I love baseball. I do. I have a son named Aiden. He plays his first year in college baseball. At 8 years old, I started taking him to every major league stadium. This last summer, we finished it. We went to all 30. All 30 major league stadiums, me and my son. I have a daughter. She texts. That's all. And no, shut up. Totally playing. You got a teenage daughter. Don't act like that wasn't funny. I got this daughter, and she's awesome as well, and just love her. But we love baseball. We're a baseball family, big time baseball family. Love baseball, and everybody's got their retirement. I got Montevi, and I got my son's left arm. So we've all got our plans, and we love baseball. When my son was just about 2 years old, my daughter was 3. I was very busy traveling all over the place, and a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, man, do you want to help me coach this team?" And I said, "Well, I'm kind of busy." He goes, "Yeah, just show up when you can." So I did, and I said, "All right, I'll commit to coaching the team." It was 9, 10, and 11-year-olds. And we had and our first day of practice came, and all the parents were there for the orientation, and all the little 15 players were lined up. And we go down the row, and I said, "What's your name?" "My name's Tommy. My name's Jose. My name's Freddie. My name's Ricky." "What's your name?" We come to this big Samoan kid. He's like 10 years old. He goes, "People call me the Babe." I'm like, "You're so humble," just like, wow. At the end of 26 games, he batted .767. If you know anything about baseball, that's unbelievable. Babe's problem wasn't hitting the ball. He was a natural swing. Babe's problem was this. I don't even know what his real name is to this day. I just keep calling him Babe. Babe's problem is this. He not hitting the ball, it's running. He hated to run. We had to set up incentives at every base, like a Snicker bar, a Fun Dip, just to kind of motivate him, kind of move him along, you know what I'm saying? And so that was the Babe. And we had this other kid on the team named Freddie. Now, Freddie had no athletic ability in his body. Now, follow me on this story. Freddie had no athletic ability in his body at all. That dude could not hit, swing, walk, nothing. He had no athletic ability. He was just a little 9-year-old kid, and he was just happy. But he was always happy. He'd get up to bat, strike one. "You're out, strike 3, and he'd go back. "I'm back, coach." He thought the goal was to get back as soon as he could to the dugout. He was just the cutest little kid, but he didn't know nothing about baseball. And I would stand on first base, and I'd go, "Freddie, take a swing. You can do it, Freddie. Take a swing. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, And nothing. 7 game, 8 game, 9 game, nothing. It was about the 10th game. His dad yells out from the stands. I'm yelling, "Take a swing." I just kept yelling, "Take a swing, take a swing." And I wanted him to swing no matter where the ball was. "Take a swing, Freddie." And his dad yelled out, "Freddie, don't swing. You can't hit. You're no good." Oh, I was mad at first base. I wanted to lead by example. "Don't listen to your dad, Freddie." That was a mistake. Freddie's dad was huge. He turned around, took about 20 minutes. "I'm sorry." I kept going, "Freddie, take a swing, take a swing, take a swing." And Freddie would just kept swinging. By the 15th game, he hit a foul ball. The crowd went crazy. They did a wave. No one could believe that Freddie actually made contact. We get to the final game. It's the playoff. We've only lost 1 game all year long. In LA, where I was living at the time, those people are crazy about baseball. So we had 3 news vans show up and 400 people to watch a playoff game. It was crazy. And we get to the playoff game. It's only a 6-inning game. We battle back and forth, battle back and forth. We get to the bottom of the 6th, and the score is 2-1. They're winning. We're losing. 2-1. Now, I bring the team together. "Come on, guys. We just need 1 run to tie, 2 to win. This is our last ups." First kid gets up, boom, gets a double. Next kid gets up, fly ball right to first base. Man on second, 1 out. Next kid, line drive, boom, right back to the pitcher. 2 outs, man on second. Who comes up to bat? Do you think he's nervous? Not a chance. He's like, "Is this an important game? Because there's a lot of people here. I'm still getting a Capri Sun, right? This is going to work out." I'm on Freddie. So we get it there and go, "Come on, Freddie, take a swing, boom, strike 1. Freddie, come on, you can do it, take a swing, boom, strike 2. Now it's time for me and God to have a talk. I'm on first base. I'm like, "God, all year long, I've been telling this kid to take a swing. I know he has no athletic ability, and I know there's no chance that his bat will hit the ball. But could you, by chance, let the ball hit the bat?" If you don't want that to happen, God, then let the ball hit him. I don't care either way. So here it comes. It's the 3rd and final strike. We're 1 strike away from losing it all. "Freddie, take a swing. You can do it. Take a swing." Boom, crack, it goes to right field. He didn't know what to do. We never had to train him to run. I'm all, come on, Freddie, come on. The kid on second, he had wheels. He was already home. We're already tied up. Freddie gets to first base. I see it go right through the legs of the guy in right field. I'm all, go, Freddie, go, Freddie, go. He heads off to second. And I see the kid chasing the ball. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I run from first base over to third base illegally across the mound. I see Freddie's dad in the grandstands. All of a sudden, he's coming towards third. Here comes Freddie, and here comes the ball. We're already tied up. Everybody goes, hold him, hold him. I'm like, heck no, I'm a risk taker. That's the spirit of who I am. Freddie ain't nervous. I sent him home. He rounds third. He don't care. I'm going, go, Freddie, go, go, go. He starts coming in. The ball comes in. Freddie comes in. The ball comes in. And then all of a sudden, they catch it. They bring it down. I yell, slide. Never had to teach him to do that, so it was more of a duck and roll. The umpire, it seems like forever, yells out, safe! And we win the game on Freddie's one and only hit all year long. Now I tell you that, and I'm done with this, and here it is. And I want you to cheer, not for me, but for you and for the people in this room, because here's the deal. I want to tell you the same thing. We are only 18 days into the year 2014. And I want you to wake up tomorrow morning, Monday morning, and every day of this year and get in the batter's box called Monavie and the batter's box called life and do exactly what Freddie needed to do. Take a swing, because that's what you were meant to do. You were meant to win, and you were meant to take a swing. I am Laura's husband and Grace and Aiden's father. It's been a joy to be with you. Thank you so much. Awesome.